Okay, everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat here at Shira David, Likutey Halachos, Hilchos Tzizit, Halacha Gimel, and Yud Tes. We're 19 today. Tzizit 3, and we're doing letter 19. So I'd like to start off with the one nice thing from the Kedushas Levi. All right? So today is, in the world, they call it New Year's. They call it today New Year's, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, today. That's what the world calls it. Okay? Now, so there's the Kedushas Levi was known as the protector of Klal Yisrael, right? And Rav Levi Yitzchak ben Sarah Sasha Zuchus Yogan Leinu. Anyway, the tzaddik it was New Year's morning, and after they finished davening in the shul, everyone went to work, whatever they did, the people left. And the Kedushas Levi was in the shul himself, and he had a desk. So he took out from his desk drawer, he took out a flask of liquor, and he had 2 glasses, and he filled up 2 glasses. And he picks up the glass, and he says, Rabbeinu Shalom, I want to wish you a good new year. Now the Shabbos was there. The Shabbos was there doing what he was doing. He heard the Rebbe make this statement. And he says, my Rebbe does very interesting things, I know. But this one, I think I have to ask him. So he goes over to the Rebbe, and he says, Rebbe, please, can you explain to me, please, why did you wish the Rabbeinu Shalom a new year now? So he says, I'll tell you why. He says it was in the summertime. It was before Shavasa B'Tammuz, and I realized there's a terrible, terrible decree hanging over Klal Yisrael, over the Jewish people. There's a big, big decree, and I tried to nullify this decree. So he said, we had the fast of the Shavasa B'Tammuz, and then he had the 3 weeks. And he tried with the, it was Tisha B'Av, and he tried on Tisha B'Av so much to break the decree. No. All right. It was worrying him. And then he said it came to Rosh Chodesh Elul. And I have the shofar. I'll break it with the shofar. No. He finishes Elul, comes to Rosh Hashanah, I'll be able to do it. No. Didn't work. Asheres Yemei Tshuva, he can't do it. No. Comes Yom Kippur, he can't. No. He said the 4 days between Rosh Hashanah, between Yom Kippur and Sukkot. Those are special days. He tried, didn't go. Then he said it was the simcha of Sukkot, the Yom Tov, V'samachta. It'll work. No. Hashanah Rabbah, he said. Didn't work. And then he said, okay, Hanukkah's coming. Oh, Hanukkah. So he lights the candles and he's davening to the Rebbeinu Shalom. It's not working. Zois Hanukkah happens. He said this thing was a monster. He couldn't do anything with it. And then he said, this morning, I went out and I couldn't sleep, he said, and I wanted to, have a little bite of this, talk to the Rebbeinu Shalom. And I went out and I was walking around in the streets of Berditchev. I guess downtown Berditchev, right? and he said that he couldn't walk down the streets because there was so many drunkards that made a mess all over. Rabbi what's his name was talking about making if you have something an odor this morning. It's reminded me of the story. Also, you can't daven, you can't think in words of Torah and things. So he was really troubled by it, because he wants to say, he can't. But he comes back to the shul before anyone comes there, and he bangs on the bima, and he says, Rabbeinu Shalom, look, I understand that we make mistakes. The Jewish people, we make mistakes. Listen, we have the Yetzer Hara. We what are we supposed to do? We try. We all love you, we try. But he said that at least when it comes to Rosh Hashanah, we all go to shul, we do something. We don't become drunk. We don't fall out, we don't carry on like the nations of the world carry on during the New Year's. So Rabbi Shalom, give us a break. And he said with that, he was able to nullify the decree. He was able to nullify the decree with that comparison, with that argument with the Rebbeinu Shalom, he was able to do it. So he said, that's why I'm telling the Rebbeinu Shalom, now you can have a good new year, because you were able to nullify the decree on Klal Yisrael. And that's why he wished the Rebbeinu Shalom a good new year, because it was really talking about for back on Rosh Hashanah.
Yeah, beautiful.
Oh, the Holy Kedushas Levi. The Holy Kedushas Levi. All right, so anyway, the Rebbe says today like this. Yutes. Kiz v'zeh b'china suda shlisha shel Shabbos shehi b'shas ha'mincha. Okay, so we know the most opportune time to have your shalosh shudas is after mincha and Shabbos, right? If you can, that's the most opportune time, because that's the time it's known as Rava de Ravin, right? It's a time that's known as a special endearment that the Jewish people have with the Rebbeinu Shalom. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has a special love for Klal Yisrael at that time. Look what he says here. Shekineged bechinas Yackov. Okay, so we know that the three meals of Shabbos, the meal of Friday night is Yitzchak Avinu, right? The meal of the morning is Avram Avinu, and the meal of Shalosh Shudas, the third meal, is Yaakov Avinu. Right? Do you know why? That the first meal is Yitzchak Avinu and not Avram Avinu? You would think that Friday night should be Avram. Yitzchak should be... בבקשה, תסגור את הדלת. תסגור את הדלת, אין בעיה. Okay. Okay. Oh, the reason why, because when it comes to Friday night, Yitzchak Avi, it's still dark outside. It's dark. It's beautiful. It's amazing, right? But there's still darkness. And Yitzchak Avinu is connected to the darkness. Yitzchak Avinu is connected to the tzchok. He sees through it and all of that. So it's still like a little bit of din over there. But when it comes to Shabbos morning, it's bright, it's nice. That's Chesed L'Avram. That's Avram Avinu. It's Chesed, bright, and everything. So that's why. That's the reason why the Zohar says that's why the meals go that way. Yitzchak Avinu, because it's still nighttime. So that's Yitzchak Avinu. The daytime is Avram Avinu, and Yaakov Avinu is that time where it's going towards night at the time. Okay. Anyway, that's the way it goes. Anyway, so we know that Mincha is the time, and Shalosh Shudas is the time of Yaakov Avinu. So through that, through Yaakov Avinu, through the Titan Emesli Yaakov, right? Through the Yaakov Avinu, you can merit to have your nachla, your inheritance, your portion without meitzarim, beli meitzarim, shu nachlas Yaakov. What does that mean? We know that we say it in our tefillah, the zmiris, right? We talk about this idea of nachlas Yaakov, beli meitzarim, right? Without any constriction, without any confinement. You should have a very expansive place. Your place should be very, very expansive. You shouldn't feel confined. That's what it means, Yaakov Avinu. Shul b'chinas l'mala min ha'mokim. Because Yaakov Avinu lived his life in a way, l'mala min ha'mokim. He wasn't stuck in the place. Right? Yaakov Avinu, even when he was in Choron, right? Like we discussed the other day, he was in Turkey, right? He was over there in Choron, right? And he was with Lavan, right? He was still serving the Rebbeinu Shalom. It made no difference. He was there, he was in other place. It didn't matter to him. He was okay. It says we just read Parshas Vayigash. Yaakov Avinu went down to Mitzrayim, right? It's Parshas Vayechi now, right? So it says that really Yaakov Avinu's best life, the best years of his life was when he was in Mitzrayim. When he was in Mitzrayim, many asked questions on it. How could it be when he was living in Eretz Yisrael? It wasn't his best life, and when he went to Mitzrayim, but okay, Yaakov Avinu was lamala min ha'mokim. Yaakov Avinu was always lamala min ha'mokim. He wasn't stuck in his place. He was always connected to the Rebbeinu Shalom. Halken Oz, who is Stalkus Moshe Rabbeinu Olav Shalom. We know that Moshe Rabbeinu, Rabin Shal Yisrael, Moshe Rabbeinu left the world when? Specifically at that time. That time of Shalosh Shudas, that time on Shabbos, at that time, right when after Mincha, right before the Shabbos leaves, that's when Moshe Rabbeinu left the world. That's when Moshe Rabbeinu went up on the mountain. Oz Misgala Ravin the Ravin. That was when it was revealed, this friendship, the endearment. I don't know how, that's the best way I can come up with to translate Ravin the Ravin. There's a special friendship and endearment between Klal Yisrael and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ki Moshe Rabbeinu v'Yaakov Avinu heim bechinas achas. Because Moshe Rabbeinu and Yaakov Avinu, they were one. They were one. What does that mean? Ki Moshe Kosa b'Zohar HaKadosh, as it says in Zohar. Ki zeh bechinas kvuras Moshe olav Shalom. This was regarding, the Zohar is talking about the kvura, the burial of Moshe Rabbeinu. Shahaya v'bechinas l'mala min ha'makom. It was in a place, l'mala min ha'makom. It wasn't in the world. It was something higher. It transcended the world. L'mala min ha'makom. Bechinas v'lo yada ish es kfurasai. Like the Torah says, nobody will ever know the place of Moshe Rabbeinu's burial. Nobody knows. It's l'mala min ha'makom. It's l'mala min ha'makom, right? You understand? It's l'mala min ha'makom, right? In other words, nobody knows where it is. Nobody knows. It's so it's so amazing. Moshe Rabbeinu is so awesome. Nobody even knows where it is. Kiyu l'mala min ha'makom. Of course, Moshe Rabbeinu was l'mala min ha'makom. Moshe Rabbeinu was always connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the highest way. Moshe Rabbeinu even left his wife. He couldn't be with his wife because he never knew at any time HaKadosh Baruch Hu would come to him and he didn't want to be unclean. Right? Moshe Rabbeinu always wanted to be prepared. He was always prepared. Moshe Rabbeinu, of course, was l'mala min ha'makom. As Rabbeinu, as Chazal teach us in the Gemara in Saita on Yud Dalet 14a, right? Al kavuras Moshe. When it came to my El Yoinim Nidba Lahem Lamata Tachtainim Nidba Lahem Lamala. The upper ones seemed to them as if they were down here, and the ones that were down here seemed that they were Lamala. What does that mean? The angels, right? The El Yoinim Nidba Lahem Lamata. The angels to the angels, it was Nidma Lehem Lamata, it was down. But Tachtoinim, but the down ones were Nidma Lehem Le'el Yoinim, as the high ones. Shezeh Bechinas L'Mala Min HaMokim. This is the same concept. In other words, you could either be down and be stuck, or you can always be Lamala. You can always rise yourself up. And then no one knew where is Moshe Rabbeinu's Kvura, because Moshe Rabbeinu's whole life, the same way Yaakov Avinu, they both lived their lives in a way, they were L'mala min HaMokim. They weren't stuck in the world and the circumstances and the situation in the world. You see Moshe Rabbeinu, when he had the problem with the Mitzri, when he killed that Mitzri, he just left. He didn't care. Moshe Rabbeinu couldn't care less. Another one would say, listen, I'll figure it out. I'll try to talk my way out of it. I'll try to do this because I'm stuck in the place. Moshe Rabbeinu wasn't connected to the place. He didn't care. He just left. Moshe Rabbeinu went on. He went on. He didn't care. He went with it. Yaakov Avinu is living with his father. His mother tells him that you have to go to Haran. He went on. He didn't care. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to him, now it's time to go back. It's time to go back. He goes. He doesn't care. He doesn't argue. I'm comfortable here. Things are going pretty good. Why am I going to stay here? Hashem says go. He goes. L'mala min HaMokim. Right? Unfortunately, we have so many Jews that should all see this lesson here. And you don't have to stay, guys. You don't have to stay where you are. Wherever you are living in the world, it doesn't matter. You could just pick yourself up, hear the message. Hashem wants all Klal Yisrael to come back to Eretz Yisrael. Come back to Eretz Yisrael. You could do it. And therefore we have this great Eis Ratzon. It's a time, it's a very, very, very opportune time. It's an Eis Ratzon. Specifically that time of Mincha on Shabbos. Ki lamala min hamokim. Because the time puts us in a place. Lamala min hamokim. A lot of Batei Midrashim have a minhag. I don't know if you know this. A lot of Batei Midrashim have a minhag that by Shalosh Chudas they'll turn the lights are down. It's a little dark. They have it a little dark. Why is that? Why would they have it a little dark? For this reason. Lamala min hamokim. In other words, when you're sitting at a table, right, and you see your friends and you see everybody, so you think, oh, this guy, he did this to me. This guy did that to me. This guy did that to me.
Think negatively.
But if it's a little dark, you don't see everyone that clearly. You can think clearly. You can think clear. That's the reason behind it. So you can think clear, to be l'malam and amok. You can take yourself out of the place. You can connect more to the Rebbeinu Shalom where you don't have the distractions of all of the people and all of the situations. That makes sense? Does that make sense? Yeah. Bechinas mekoymei shalaylam. To connect yourself to the Rebbeinu Shalom was mekoymei shamatim. Shamu rotzain gadol berachimim gedolim. When you connect yourself to the Rebbeinu Shalom, like we said, that's where you have rotzen, gadol berachimim gedolim. You have great, great mercy, great, great compassion when you're connected to the Rebbeinu Shalom. Why? Because the Rebbeinu Shalom is mekoymei shalaylam. And Eina Olam Mekaymai, right? We said that. So everyone, when it comes to the Rebbeinu Shalom, he understands the Makaym of everybody. He understands the situation of everybody. He understands the circumstances in everybody's life. And because he understands that he's worthy to judge everybody. That's what the Rebbeinu Shalom can do because he understands it. This is what we're trying to say. When you connect to the Rebbeinu Shalom, you connect to that idea of Mekoymai Shalaylam, and then you can judge everybody in a favorable way. Look at these beautiful words. And then when you connect to the Rebbeinu Shalom, you too can look at everybody and judge everybody in a favorable way. That's the most special words. Va'ani tfilasi, I am tefillah. Va'ani tfilasi, I am tefillah. Eis rotze, when I feel va'ani tfilasi l'cho Hashem. Eis rotze, my whole tefillah is for you, Hashem. I'm not davening for myself. I'm davening for you, Hashem. I'm davening that I want to be close to you, Hashem. That's what it means, va'ani tfilasi l'cho Hashem. My whole tefillah is to be with you, Hashem. Now I want to be connected to you. Eis Ratzon, that becomes the Eis Ratzon because when you daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I want to be connected to you. That's when you make an Eis Ratzon. That's the most, and then you make an opportune time. Oz misatfim batzitzis. Oh, this is a beautiful thing. A lot of shuls, they don't know this, right? But the Shliach Tzibur, when it comes to Mincha, right? David, did you know this? The Shliach Tzibur, when it comes to Mincha, he first goes up to daven, and he says, Ashrei Yavol Tzion. He'll say the Kaddish without a talis on. But he only puts on the talis when everyone's saying, Vani Tfilosi L'cho Hashem, then he puts on the talis. You ever see that?
I never noticed that. It doesn't start off with the talis.
No. This is the right way to do it. This is the right way to do it. You don't start off with the talis. You put the talis on after the Kaddish. And when everyone's saying, Vani Tfilosi L'cho Hashem, then you put on your talis. Look why.
Do most people know that, you think?
No.
No, okay, because I haven't.
No.
I've never
But
seen
it's oz misatfim batzitzis. Then you put on the tzitzis. It's in the Priyetz Chaim and Shar Shabbos Perik. It's more a Kabbalistic thing. If you go to
Mishnah Berurah, do you think?
No, the Priyetz Chaim. No, the Priyetz Chaim, that's a Kabbalah Sefer. Yeah. He quotes it. He'll quote it in the Mishnah Berurah. Yeah, it's quoted. And if you look in the notes,
yes, I mean, yeah,
it'll be in the notes. But it's not halacha. This is the most opportune time to do it.
Okay, got it.
You don't have to do it this way, but this is the most opportune. Now look why. Oz misatim b'tzitzis. Then you put on the tzitzis. Ki tzitzis heim bechinas l'malam and amokim. As we keep learning. Tzitzis. The whole idea of tzitzis is l'malam and amokim, right? When you look at your tzitzis, you realize, I'm not stuck here. It's freedom. The tzitzis is freedom. The tzitzis gives me the opportunity to know what my tachlis is in life, and I can move on. I can be like Yaakov Avinu, like Moshe Rabbeinu, just keep moving. Be l'malam and amakim. That's what tzitzis is. Al yedei zeh nimshach ratzon gadol. Then you can make a great, you can bring a great ratzon into the world. You can bring some beautiful things in when you look at the tzitzis specifically at that time. And I believe, the reason is, David, is why I believe like this. When everyone sees the Baal Tefillah putting on the talis, they see those tzitzis. They see him wrapping the tzitzis. It helps us remind ourselves, what is my tachlis? What am I doing here? This is what my tefillah is. Vani tefillosi l'cho Hashem. L'cho Hashem, to you Hashem. That's how it helps. So it's a way to give a jump start to the olam, to the community. When they see that, in order to put them in the right mind frame of where they are at that time. That this is now the Eis Ratzah, and this is now a very, very special and opportune time. Does this make sense? Does that make sense? Yeah. And this is why tzitzis is made out of tzemer, is made out of the wool. Why is tzitzis made out of wool? Like we learned so many times. We learned about the rachmim, the ratzon, right? Because of the wool. Bechinas talis. Lachein nisatef boya HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Therefore, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, listen to this, HaKadosh Baruch Hu put on a tzitzis, the talis. The Gemara in Brachas says this, right? Rosh Hashanah, excuse me. V'sidel lifnei Moshe shalosh esrei midah shel rachmim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu put on the talis, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu said over, he taught to Moshe Rabbeinu the Seder of the Shleish Esrei Midas, the 13 attributes of mercy. The 13 attributes of mercy. V'zeh bechinas levushe keselag chiver v'sa'ar reishe kema nikei. Like we learned from Daniel. Misham nimshachem oireis hatzitzis kamuva. Okay? Sheheim bechinas rachmim gedolim. Ki tzitzis heim bechinas kisei hakavod mikoymei sheloilam. Because the tzitzis is the kisei hakavod mikoymei sheloilam. Remember, let's review real quickly. When you look at the tzitzis, the first beged you put on in the morning, you put on the tzitzis. And you take the 4 tzitzis, and the tzitzis are called techeles, and you look at the tzitzis, you remember your tachlis, and Chazal say to you that the tchelis is the same color as the Yamsuf. And then you realize, wow, Hashem made everything in the Yamsuf. Look at the world that's going on in the Yam. Look at the world that's going on under the sea. And I have no idea, wow, Hashem, that's amazing. And then you look and then it reminds you of the heavens. And you see the sky is blue. And then you realize all of the worlds and all the creation and all of the constellations that Hashem created that He's dealing with. Oh, Gewalt. And then you remember the Kisei HaKavod, because the Kisei HaKavod is also that color. And then so you see the tzitzis. The tzitzis can mamish help you to see and know your tachlis, because you realize, what am I doing here? I'm really mamish connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and I'm really holding on to the Kisei HaKavod. And how are we holding on to the Kisei HaKavod? Because we said that Avram, Yitzchak, and Yackov, and David HaMelech are the 4 legs of the Kisei HaKavod, of the Merkava. Some will refer to it as a Merkava. We can refer to it as a Merkava, the Kisei HaKavod, whatever you'd like.
It's blue and not gold?
They say it's blue.
Okay.
No, but gold is din.
Okay.
Gold is din. Gold is a color of din. That's why the Kohen Gadol on Yom Kippur didn't wear the golden garments. He didn't wear the gold. Right? He wore the white garments, right? He didn't wear the golden garments on Yom Kippur. When he went lefnim, when he went into the Kodesh Kodashim, he didn't wear the golden garments. Because he doesn't want to evoke judgment.
Right, okay.
Because the gold reminds us of the gold from the Egel Azov, remember?
Right.
Right? So we don't want to stay away from that. Yeah. So that's the Kisei HaKavod. So you look at the tzitzis, and then you remember the four legs, Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. It's the time of Yaakov when we're talking about here, which is the Ravin of the Sud of Shalosh Shudas. That's the time of Yaakov Avinu. And you see the tzitzis and you remember the Kisei HaKavod. Unbelievable. What beautiful lessons we have here from Rav Nosson, helping us understand the tzitzis and what's going on. And you can bring into the world a great amount of compassion and mercy into the world. What does he say? What does that mean? Because the tzitzis is the tikkun for our garments. They are the Kisei HaKavod. The tzitzis is mamish like the Kisei HaKavod. When you're wearing a tzitzis yitalis, it's mamish, you're connecting yourself to the Kisei HaKavod. And that's what the main thing is. When you see a tzitzis, to always remember to judge everybody in a favorable way, never to look at anyone in a negative way, never to size anyone up in a negative way. We don't understand. It's not for us to understand what's going on, what trials and tribulations each person has in their lives. That's between them and the Rabbeinu Shalom. And the Rabbeinu Shalom, again, you have to remember, is always with them. The Rabbeinu Shalom is with them in their situation, whatever the situation is. So who am I to size them up any what way, other than to size them up in a way of being innocent? Because really, it's not upon me to make any judgments. And we really have to, drive this point home again and again and again, because the Yetzer Hara is so strong in this. He tries to make us look at people and this guy, look at him, and look at this one. No. Remember, Rabbeinu Shalom is Mekoymai Shalaylam. The Rabbeinu Shalom is within each and every person, and he's running each and every person's life. So it's upon me to recognize that Rabbeinu Shalom is behind everything. And if Hashem is there, He knows what's going on, and He's dealing with it the right way. And that's how I have to see things. Wow. V'zeh bechinas im yiyu chateichem kashonim kashele yalbino im ye'adimu katoyle ketzeme yiyu. If you'll have multiple sins, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I'll make them white. If they'll be red, I'll make them white. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will always come and HaKadosh Baruch Hu, through being done as lekav schus, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will always try to exonerate Klal Yisrael. Bechinas chut shel tcheles. It's that string of tcheles. Hamalbin aveinos b'yom kippurim. That string of techeles, that white string, but it's called the string of techeles. That string with whiten the sin of on Yom Kippur. Ki atzitzis heim bechinas mekoymai shalaylam. Because tzitzis is mekoymai shalaylam, so the strings are mekoymai shalaylam. They're the Rabbeinu Shalaylam. V'danen es hakol lekav schus, and they judge everybody in a favorable way. V'ayedei zeh nimcholin kol ha'avoda and ha'avonos. Therefore, all the sins can be forgiven. Why? Because again, when you tie it back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that's the most important thing, to recognize everybody is with the Rabbeinu Shalom. Everybody. It doesn't matter what situation they find themselves in. It doesn't matter. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is mamish with them. And if HaKadosh Baruch Hu is right with them, size them up and judge them in a favorable way. And if you're having trouble doing that, take a look at your tzitzis again. And remember, your tzitzis is going to connect you back to the Kisei HaKavod. And the Kisei HaKavod, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Mekoymai Shalaylam. And all neshamas come from Tachas Kisei HaKavod, underneath the Kisei HaKavod. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Mekoymai Shalaylam. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is dealing with every single person. He understands. So what am I going to ever look at a person and judge them and turn them in a way of to make them guilty. No, I have to work on exonerating everybody, and this is what the Rabbeinu Shalom wants. This is what HaKadosh Baruch Hu does, and with this I wish everyone a wonderful day. Kol Tuv.
Amen.